Not, but we just heard from Ann that Corrine Brown has returned now to the room that she has occupied with her supporters during the trial. The tears are coming from those who are coming and going out of that room. And if you're wondering why I'm reading these things and you're not seeing it, again, no cameras are allowed in the federal courthouse. Let's go now to reporter Stephen Dial. Stephen?
Hey, Jeannie, we're getting instant reaction as people are leaving the federal courthouse after longtime Congresswoman Corrine Brown has been found guilty on multiple counts, including conspiracy, mail-and wire fraud, and filing false tax returns. Bishop McKissick, the longtime pastor, she's been a member of Bethel Baptist Church. Her longtime pastor, Bishop McKissick Sr., was walking into the courthouse. He's been seen day after day escorting her in or out of court. I spoke with him briefly, and he didn't even know about the verdict. I told him what is his reaction, and he said, quote, "I still see God in this." Her car is right here on the side, so we are waiting outside the door for anyone to walk out, but that was some of the first instant reaction. I know Ken talked to one of Corrine Brown's supporters saying that she's shocked. I talked to another gentleman that I would sit by in court most days, and he said that he is disappointed. He said that it'll be interesting to see what charges, what sentencing Ronnie Simmons and Carla Wiley will get now that the jury found former Congresswoman Corrine Brown guilty. But again, we're getting instant reaction as people are leaving the courthouse. Congresswoman Brown's longtime pastor, Bishop McKissick, saying, quote, "I still see God in this." He's brought her in and out of court. Her car is feet away from where we are, so she will have to come this way. She's left out the same door every day, and they parked her car there. So we're going to stay outside and continue to update you. Jeannie.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Eric and I are just talking about this pre-sentencing process now that's going to go for Corrine to try to figure out, what the sentence is going to be. And before it goes to the judge, there's usually how many pages, and how many pages do you think it'll be for Corrine in their questioning?
Well, just kind of a standard case, it can be 20 to 30 pages easily. I expect in her case it could be well upwards of that.
Because she's a former congressman?
Well, just because of the length of time that they have to cover. I mean, it starts from basically birth till today.
And so they give her these questions, they interview her, and then they take them to the judge, and then he decides the sentence. What types of questions are these?
Yeah, so what happens is a probation officer will be assigned to write this report, a pre-sentence investigation. And as part of that process, they will sit down, or at least offer to sit down with the defendant in any case and their lawyer, and they will ask them questions about their childhood, certainly their employment, any military experience. Certainly her public service experience will be a big part of that. It also details the individual's criminal history, if there is one. Again, I have not seen any evidence to suggest that exists here, so she will most likely be on the furthest left you can go, meaning the 0 criminal history points. So the big factor in her case, I imagine, is going to be that base offense level that we talked about.
So some people may be wondering, okay, help me understand this. Will she be going to prison for sure, even if there is an appeal?
No, that is absolutely not for sure. There very well could be non-incarceration sentence options that are available. There will be for the judge. Now, whether or not he will choose to do that, I'm quite certain that the guideline range will not be probationary in nature. That is, the guideline range is expressed in months, a range of months in prison.
Probation, yeah.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Now, that does not mean, again, those guidelines are advisory. The judge has to accurately calculate the guidelines, and he has to consider them. But he is not bound. Years ago, they were actually bound by that guideline range. Now it's not the case, so he can vary upwards or downwards, or depart upwards and downwards based on what's presented during the sentencing hearing. She'll have the opportunity to present witnesses, and again, as I mentioned, she'll have the opportunity to make her own statement as well.
And now, were you setting these guidelines, if you had, and I don't want to have you speculate, not to do that, but they would probably range from how many years to how many years?
If the intended or actual loss, again, whichever is greater, is let's just take the $800,000 figure that's been reported as the amount of funds that they took into the one door. If that's the level of the intended loss, the guideline range goes up 14 points. So it starts at a base offense level at 7 for all fraud, and then it goes up based on the dollar value of that loss.
7 years.
So it could, no, that's points on the guideline schedule. So, and then the guideline range is expressed in months. But